What's up, guys? Warden is running a little bit late tonight. His traffic where he's at is a little bad, so he's going to join us in a few minutes. Tonight, we talk Kiss. We finish up the best songs of the four original guys: Peter, Paul, Gene, and Ace. And we put it all together and make one 10-song album. And we even made up titles for it. So that and more tonight on the fly.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Zeus.
And we're from Shout It Out Loudcast. And this is Gene Simmons from Kiss.
And this is Ace Frehley. And when we want to listen to anything about football, music, Kiss, wrestling, country music, and more, we go to On the Flythe
with Stevie Flythe and Jason Worden. Check them out. Oh, yeah.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? Hope you guys like the new intro. Tom and Zeus from Shout Out Loudcast. Nice enough to do a bumper, even though they didn't get my last name right, which is nothing unusual. We appreciate those guys doing what they do for us, and appreciate the podcast. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Shout It Out Loudcast. We got a little time before Warden gets here. I guess he is on the way. He's, like I said, he's running a little behind. Yeah, apparently Ozzy Osbourne is going to play 2 final concerts. So I don't know how they're going to do this. I mean, is he going to be seated? There's no way he's going to be able to jump around the stage like he wants to. I just don't know. I mean, I love it, Ozzy. And here comes Gunslinger Outlaw. Who the heck is Gunslinger Outlaw? We'll put him in here in just a second. And what the heck is going on here? Just know you're going to be live when I add you to the stage. So don't be doing anything out of the ordinary for you, even for you. So here we go. We're going to take a chance here, guys. Taking a big chance. What the heck is that?
Hold on, dude. What did you do, man?
I'm removing you. What are you doing? You can't see you. There's something over you. Well, that's actually a better view. I'm looking at him backstage right now. There. All right, guys. We're going to bring him in right now. It's going to be kind of scary, but we're going to bring him in right now. Hold on.
Gary.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
There's that other view we just had.
No, that was my front end camera. I didn't have it set to drop down. So,
all right, guys.
I didn't know you were going to be live already.
Well,
Gee,
look,
whiz.
I couldn't. It wouldn't let me change the time, so I just went ahead and came on and
you and you're going live, man. I mean, we're professionals. We need to practice, dude. Come on.
We don't need practice. We need paying gigs.
No, that's true. Can you hear me okay, Stevie?
Yeah, everybody, you good, bud. You're good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, everybody, if you don't know what that line was from Sling Blade. I don't know if you remember that or not. We don't need practice, Randy. We need paying gigs.
I never saw that.
You never saw Sling Blade?
No.
Wow. That was a good movie.
I just finished the first season of Fargo with Billy Bob, though. Well, he always plays a bastard, doesn't he?
Billy Bob can play such diverse characters. I mean, to tell, if you were to tell me that he was Carl from Sling Blade and then play whatever the guy his name was from Armageddon working at NASA I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and, yeah, two look like two different people. But
A
Billy
lot of
Bob,
them. I always remember that people that wanted to see if you can bring back 8-track tapes.
yeah,
They're asking them all. They're
tell,
what they wanted.
tell us who killed
Yeah.
Kennedy, could you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you ought to check out the. I know everybody's talking about the new season with John Hamm, who's another great actor. I guess they're talking about Fargo. Everybody's watching the new season, but I went and started with the first season. It's really good. It's
How
got.
many seasons is it?
I think there's like 5. This is the 5th season
All right, I had never checked it out. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about it.
because they have a lot of good actors. They have him in the first season. Chris Rock is in one season, and yeah, so it's. I guess it. I haven't watched but the first season, but it's got Colin Hanks, which Tom Hanks' son. He's good.
Yeah,
At it.
yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't seen the first one, you'll start off with the first one. That's what I did. I'm working my way up. There's so much crap to watch out there. So have you seen
What
that?
what is that streaming on?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that streaming on though? What
Hulu.
Hulu. Okay. All right. So had a good week since the last time we saw each other.
Oh yeah, we've had a great time with both our teams. Your team probably expected my team.
Yeah.
I swear to God, nobody. I have been. I don't know what the word is, but I mean, people around me were just like acting like they were so surprised. I go, we see this movie every year. I even told you, Stevie, I wouldn't surprise me if they lost to Green Bay.
Well,
Hell, San Francisco almost lost to Green Bay. I mean, jeez.
Green Bay's going to be good. Green Bay's going to be good for a while now because they got a young team and
Detroit too.
Well, Detroit, I'm hoping can pull it off. That's got to be who I pull for now.
Yeah, I'm going for him. I remember when he played for the Cowboys. He also went to A&M. I'm going to hold that against him. And he graduated from like some Texas school here. I don't know who else he played for, but I knew the Cowboys. He played with Romo, I think, back then.
Oh yeah, didn't he play with Texas A&M?
Yeah, he went to Texas A&M. Didn't you hear me? I said I won't hold that against him. We all have our missteps in life, Stevie.
I wanted to because when you posted that yesterday with his ties to Texas, I was like, I can't believe you're even posting this. You're going to even pull for Detroit now.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys cult oversees everything, dude. So it's like, okay. There's a lot of, people that play for the Aggies that become Cowboys. Dat Wynn's one of them. He was a great Cowboy, but it happens.
I forgot all about that and Wynn.
Hey, speaking of college football, your boy Ric Flair, I don't know what the hell is going on with that guy. He got out there and he was just, I mean, I know he's a big, Harbaugh Michigan fan, but he called Harbaugh the greatest college football coach of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy just retired and he was in Alabama. And after him, probably.
Dude.
Yes.
If you don't remember, it was like 2 years ago, he was saying the same thing about Georgia. It's all about.
Yeah.
Just like with Tampa Bay. I mean, he was a big Carolina Panther fan for I don't know how long. And then all of a sudden he's up there at Tampa Bay doing that pregame thing for them, talking about they're the team. It's all about with Flair right now, who's going to pay him.
Yeah, but has Harbaugh paid him to do that? God, I mean, it's like.
No, I mean, but I'm sure Michigan paid him some money to make an appearance. And now he's really putting it on. He wants a raise.
And it's funny. I was watching that Kansas City game, and there was somebody that was talking about, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Then they showed the thing that the only quarterback he never beat was Tom Brady. It's like, no, Tom Brady's still the GOAT.
He's not. He's in top 10. He's not in my top 5.
Yeah, but he never beat Brady. So that tells
you.
No,
that's what I'm saying. But Mahomes is not. I mean, these people are so quick to put a quarterback or a player here recently, especially as the GOAT. Yep. I mean, I
think Brady still is.
Montana would beat him. Montana was a better quarterback
than Brady.
No, I'm talking about Mahomes.
Oh, Mahomes. Okay. Mahomes is only not even 30 yet, dude. He's still got time.
I mean, but still, these people.
I know.
Gosh.
And everything is like, oh, that's the greatest football game we ever seen in our life. It's like, no, it's
that's another show. That's for another show.
Hell, I even said that. It's like, yep, they said Mahomes never beat Brady. Well, hell, Dak beat Brady. at the end.
Dak did beat Brady, but didn't beat much of anybody else.
And didn't he lost to what? Brett Favre, Brett Favre,
Not Brett Favre.
Aaron Rodgers, and then
Aaron
now
Rodgers,
Love.
yeah.
So, aren't they in Detroit and Green Bay in the same division?
Yeah.
If you're a Chicago Bears fan, I mean, do you go big and try to get a new coach, or what do you do on that?
They say they're not going to get a coach, but who knows? They got the number 1 pick in the draft, but
again?
Yeah, well, they got that from Carolina.
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams says if they pick him, he's not coming. He's going to pull a Eli. So they might end up trading down and get something for that number 1 pick. We'll see. Just depends on what they need.
How cursed are the Bills right now? I mean, they're just cursed, dude. They're just
dude. I sit there and watch, Josh Allen, and people can say what they want to. That guy gives everything he's got.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, running, passing. He don't have enough around him to. And I mean, Stephon Diggs, big drop at that game. I mean, and he can't say anything this year like last. I think
He will.
No, he's been quiet, and he says he hasn't. He just told the media not to talk to him right after the game. That's all he's done.
Well, his brother could teach him how to catch because his brother's got some good catch on defense.
Well, he didn't have too much in the Green Bay game. I mean,
he didn't play. Dude's been out all season.
I know.
What?
I had to take a shot.
Yeah, you did. hey, yeah, you took a shot, but at least that's more than the Cowboys did.
Well,
I was telling my fellow Cowboy fans, and I was like, "Don't you remember last year when they hiked the ball to Zeke?" I had like crickets. They were just looked at me like, "Oh, I think they're so numb and they get so into it, they forget we do this every year."
But
like, you're not pissed off. I was like, I'm used to it, bro. It happens.
But tell me, and I've talked to a lot of Cowboys fans too. This year seems worse.
Yeah.
This is a team that y'all. I mean, the 49ers, yeah, I could see y'all getting beat by them. And each year that the 49ers have beat you, I could see them beating you. This right here, I said you guys were going to fall apart, but I didn't think it would be in the first round.
I told you that we would probably lose in the first round. I told you
that. You did, but I'm just saying it seems a lot of the Cowboy fans have told me this year seems worse because, and look, let me tell you this too. You can say all you want to about Dak. Yeah, he was. Everybody
it was on the defense. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the defense was non-existent. Michael Parsons, after getting those 2 holding penalties called on the Green Bay line, he disappeared. He was like,
and don't you think that's kind of why maybe, I mean, before all this has happened, man, he was assured going to Seattle. Crickets. He's interviewed, but crickets. The thing about the Cowboys, I don't know if you've seen it, but something just came out with Des Bryant talking about how Jerry pretty much has the Cowboys, I guess, players not there's something that went to Romo. Des called Romo and Witten a snake, and take it for what it's worth. But they were saying that, Jerry Jones runs that team so much that he has that's why CeeDee Lamb, they didn't want to give him all that because they don't have to pay him. But that's a lot. That's a lot. And Cole Beasley confirmed it. He says, yeah, I've seen it happen. That is what's wrong with the Cowboys. And you say this one hurts more. What this one, I think, tells me right now is you see teams like Detroit, you see teams like Green Bay, you see teams like Houston. You know what I mean? They got a bright future.
Yeah.
Cowboys are older, and, Dak's going to get a lot of money. I mean, they're probably at the side of more money because they can save money, which, that's totally Cowboy logic. But with them keeping McCarthy, it just proves that they're not about the ring. They make so much money, and idiots like me go to the games.
Why?
I don't know.
Why are you going to keep settling for this same old story every year? Why are you going to keep, Dak around I mean, why did you sign him to that freaking contract to start with?
Because
When you
Jerry
have-
Jones is not a GM.
Exactly. There's one of your big problems right there. He
Well,
needs to go sit in the press box and watch the games and let somebody else do it. Everybody was talking about, well, Belichick might be coming to Dallas. Belichick ain't coming to Dallas.
Well, there's a rumor that's why they kept McCarthy's, because he turned them and Philadelphia down.
Hey, he does not want to deal with
Jerry.
Jerry Jones.
Nope. The Cowboys did that one time after Jimmy Johnson. That was Bill Parcells, but Parcells was so past his prime. He built a hell of a team with DeMarcus Ware and Jason Witten. But I just want to say one thing about the Cowboys, and I just it's kind of like William Shatner when he was on Saturday Night Live and exactly. I have gotten so much shit. I mean, if you're gonna send me a meme, make it new. I have seen these for the last 30 years. I mean, every once in a while you see one. But dude, I think people hate the Cowboys more than they like their own teams. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's some teams out there that I talked to a Commanders fan yesterday.
Wow, those still exist?
He didn't care if they went if they didn't make the playoffs any year, as long as they won 2 games, he was okay with that. But
that's like me. That's the only thing that made my weekend is watching Philly implode. That was
oh my gosh, total meltdown the second half of the year. You won't go from being one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl to
how they started off. My God, they were a juggernaut.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm sitting here thinking about it. Dallas was a big favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Dallas always is. That's the problem.
And they both fell apart, fell apart.
Well, Philly wasn't
as bad. Dallas wasn't as bad. Well, wasn't as long.
Philly wasn't at home. The Cowboys had that record. There's no, I don't know, dude. I'll continue to be a fan. I'll watch them and everything, but I'm so numb to it. I'm just so numb to it that, watch me. I'll start cheering for the Texans and the freaking curse will be lifted. It's been Worden all the time. Damn it.
It's just like one of the Cowboys fans told me after y'all lost to Buffalo. He said, I knew when I saw it raining out there, we were going to lose. I was like, well, what are you going to do in the playoffs if y'all had to play in the rain?
That was an ass kicking, dude. There were signs they got beat out by some. They got shut out by like Frisco and Buffalo. That's why I didn't really have them going that far. Oh, they're different at home. It's like, you know what? Green Bay had nothing to lose. They went in there and just did it. Oh, well.
Well.
There's always next year to do the same. It's Groundhog Year again.
When they announced they were bringing back McCarthy, I said, well, okay, Cowboy fans, get ready for another year of getting your hopes up and having them shot down in a blaze of glory. So, that's the way. I just don't. Jerry claims he wants a ring. Jerry's all about money. That's all.
Yeah. And idiots like me go to the game still. So what does that tell you? They don't need it,
Well,
and think about
you're just being a fan, bud. You're just being a fan.
Thing about Dallas too is that you mentioned the Commanders. They got new leadership. They're the same people that brought the Dodgers with Magic Johnson. They're going to invest in people. They're going to get better.
We'll see.
That was Dallas's best thing. And the Giants, they should get better.
Giants should have been better this year. But that's what happens when you that quarterback curse. When you pay a quarterback all that money after he plays his butt off in his contract year, a lot of times
happened in Philly.
Yep. So tonight we have done all 4 of the original members, our top 10, and tonight we're going to put them all together and make one album of picking from our top 10. No, you can't have a double album. This is not a double album.
You didn't say anything about that, Stevie. No double album? Come on, man.
But you know what? I can have a bonus Japanese version.
You'll be very proud of me, Stevie. I only picked 10 songs. I even don't have any honorable mentions. I told you that in the text.
Yeah,
It'll
what
have
makes
to be
you
10
wonder on it?
songs. But
Now,
I did change something around. I made an alternative history at Kiss, how they came up with this album. So
okay.
does that make sense to you? Like,
I didn't do all that. I came up with a name, and it's kind of
well,
something that I wish they would have done from the start back then. But I would say this: one of the songs up here, well, two of them, in that time frame, were not out yet. So we're rewriting history right here, and
Yeah.
just saying that these songs were all available at that time, and going on these albums.
well, I made an album because you said out of our like what genes,
Oh
Ace,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I put it all in one album to like, and I made an alternative history because I know I'm going to get a lot of shit
Oh,
because there's one member on here I didn't include at all.
wow. Can we only get? I'm gonna guess. I'm guessing Peter.
You got to find out, brother.
What is the deal with the name tonight?
What do you mean? Oh,
Guns.
that's coming up later in my alternative history.
Oh, okay.
I've been thinking about this because I told you no honorable mentions because we honorable mentioned out the YZing, especially with Paul.
You.
Oh,
I mean,
whatever.
okay,
I outdid you.
Hold on. No, I'll take it back. You didn't honorable mention. You just had freaking 30 three-way ties.
I don't have any ties on this album. This
Well,
is
good,
my
you
definitive. This is my definitive Kiss album, and it's throughout their career, throughout our list.
You
except for
you can't have ties on this album.
I don't.
Okay.
The only tie, but I didn't include it.
Okay.
But I didn't put mine in order. I was just going to start with number 10 and work my way up and tell you about what I think about each song.
So you want to start from 10 to you want to
Well,
start
mine's not in order. Mine's not in particular order.
Oh, I got mine in order.
Well, no, I don't have mine in order because
I'll just do mine in order from number 1. You just do it your way. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll do mine in regards to singles and what it means. How's that?
Okay. That's fine. All right. So last time I started first, you start first this time. Gunslinger Outlaw.
Okay, Gunslinger Outlaw. Okay. I guess I'm going to give you the name of my album.
Gunslinger Outlaw, huh?
No, not Gunslinger Outlaw. Okay, I'm going to tell you this and you're going to like, oh, I knew it. The name of my album is Dirty Living.
So I know you didn't leave Peter off.
What happens with this album is that this album takes place after Destroyer. Alive never happened. And when Kiss started out, they had better production in their starting albums with the first 3. And people took them more seriously. They took them more seriously, like they did, how they did, Parliament Funk Underground, with the makeup, they weren't looked as a joke, somebody didn't try to give them balloons for their first album, that photographer. So what happened in this one is that they recorded that and they went on to do Destroyer. Beth was still a big hit for Peter. It saved the album, but Detroit Rock City, I mean, it's a staple in rock radio, but it was just so massive back then. It was up there with like Radar Love. Well, during this time, Bob Ezrin produced Destroyer. Well, Ace had a little too many card games. And so in the second and the album coming up to it, like I said, this takes place after Destroyer. They get Mutt Lange to produce the album.
Mm.
So Mutt Lange sees the dysfunctional with Ace, saying, well, he's got other things. Well, Ace gets in a real bad car accident, as you know, it happened. And Mutt Lange told him, I'm not going to produce your album unless you guys quit living dirty. So this puts a spark under Peter's ass to write Dirty Living. I know he probably didn't, or I guess he did, right?
I think he did write that.
So they get Mutt Lange to produce this album. And this album goes on to like what Boston was. You know how Boston had that first album that had so many hits on it? This is what Dirty Living becomes. Dirty Living wasn't a single, but it was a staple on rock radio. It was like a B-side. But I'm gonna give you. I'm okay. That's my first one. I'm gonna give you my, and that's the name of my album. But that's the name of my album, Dirty Living.
Dirty Living. He did write it.
Dirty
He wrote
Living.
it with him and Stan Pendridge wrote it.
And it may not have been necessarily the disco it was, but it's still a kick-ass tune. But it gave Peter that shit. I gotta, Ace almost died, in this alternative history.
Yeah,
we got to get our shit together.
Okay. Spencer Chestnut chimed in. Okay. Spencer is one of the managers of Rage Wrestling where I work at. Good guy. Thanks, Spencer. Appreciate that.
That's funny.
Appreciate you chiming in with that great tune there. So mine. Are you going to do your first song first, or do you want me to start?
Dirty Living.
Dirty Living was your first.
That's my first. Like I said, it's not in order. That's the name of this.
Got you. So, okay. The songs on this album, we're just good, like alternative history. We're going to pretend if it came before this time, it didn't happen. If it came after, it's it's already they're putting all these on the album for the first time.
Okay.
So they're coming off Love Gun, and instead of having this internal strife and internal conflict that they're having, want to do solo album, they said, okay, Bill Coin comes. They want us to do a movie. They want us to do Phantom of the Park. And this time, everybody's on board. And plus, what should have happened last time, we get a soundtrack. The Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park soundtrack.
Nice.
And this is the name of the album here. So everybody's on board, and they're sending everybody. I say, look, you're gonna, each one of you, I want you to give us 4 songs apiece. We'll pick, or give us 5 songs apiece. We'll pick the best 10. So instead of doing the solo albums, they decided to do Kiss Meets the Phantom. And I'm going to lead it off with the opening track. It's an Ace track, of course, and it's probably the best, one of the best, or the best lead off of all the solo albums. And talk about Rip It Out. Rip It Out at number 1 of my Phantom of the Park soundtrack. Best opening riff.
No,
God, come on, dude.
No.
Come on, Dak.
Nope. Not the best.
Okay. But yeah, that's how.
Okay, let me take it this way. Not my favorite. How's that?
Oh yeah, not your favorite. I'm sorry, it's not Torpedo Girl, but I mean, doom 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 doom.
Are you done?
And yeah, let me go ahead and tell you, Torpedo Girl did not make my album.
What was the name of your album?
The Phantom of the Park soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah. So what it should have done to start with, instead of doing solo albums, they should have done.
Well, you didn't want to hear that porn music going on in the background?
No, we're not having any fanfare from the movie back here. We're going. This is gonna be like it was Attack of the Phantoms. Instead of using the porn music, we're gonna use some of these songs up here.
Well, I'm gonna humor you, Steve, because the last straw of Mutt Lange, Ace brought Torpedo Girl, and he says, "No, you're no longer in the band."
Come on, get your feet wet.
So if you haven't heard yet, Ace Frehley is no longer in Kiss, in my version of Kiss.
Oh, so that's who you're leaving out.
I told you that he had a car accident.
He had a car accident. So yeah. Who are you? Who's going to be?
So I'm doing mine now. Mutt Lange is on there, and Mutt Lange's going, you know what? You guys need to embrace who you are, especially you, Demon. You need to release an album, a song that's ahead of its time, with the brand new gunslinger outlaw guitar player, Bruce Kulick.
Ah.
So Bruce Kulick, and the first single to come off Dirty Living is Unholy. So Kiss got sometimes, oh, they're just a pussy baby band. They're a kids band. Mutt Lange says, you put this song out, you slutify the demon. You show them you're unholy. Kind of like maybe when Highway to Hell came out, years later, it was kind of like, oh my God. Can you imagine Unholy coming out around 1977? I am the incubus, the lady egging you.
Protests that would have happened then, good Lord.
Yeah, that's what Mutt Lange was telling them. It's like, and telling, you guys got to embrace this, as Paul would call it, satanic. People, that's you'll get you more. No publicity is bad publicity. So the first single off Dirty Living, 1970s, let's say 76, late 76, Unholy, with the new Kiss gunslinger, outlaw Bruce Kulick.
Is Vinnie Vincent co-writing Unholy on this?
No, they didn't. Yeah, he's one of those ghostwriters. It's probably a little bit different, a little bit different but can you imagine that Bruce solo coming out? And God, can you imagine Unholy coming out? Dude, you want to talk about your mom not listen to Rod Stewart, dude. She really wouldn't listen to Kiss.
I can't imagine my mama letting me sing about the incubus. I put the egg in you. I mean,
you send your children to war to serve bastards and whores?
Oh, come on. That would have been okay.
Hmm?
All right. So the second song, Paul is like pining away. He hasn't changed. He wants his song. He's already upset that Ace has got the lead off track. So they're talking about Paul. You get the second track, and Paul comes up with a masterpiece here. One song that everybody loves, but it didn't get enough attention to me. It's better than the actual so-called multi-million selling single off that album. And I'm talking about Sure Know Something is my second off that. And you got to figure out, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out where in the movie I could put these songs in. But anything is better than playing Hold Me, Touch Me like they did in Attack of the Family. Anything is better than that. So we'd find a place for Sure Know Something.
Even Torpedo Girl?
No, Torpedo Girl is not going to be in my...
No, but it's worse than Hold Me, Touch Me?
Torpedo Girl is not worse than the Hold Me, Touch Me.
Torpedo Girl is a song.
That Hold Me, Touch Me ruined a perfect album. Hey, guys, it's Facebook user. I don't know who it is, but you need to identify yourself.
He watches us a lot.
The Facebook user is one of he's our biggest fan. I don't know who it is, but anyway, hey, back to you. So, all right. So we're looking at song number 3 for you.
Okay. So number 3, they kind of want a mid-tempo song with having Unholy. They don't want to scare away all the, the housewives and everything like that. So they want to get a song that, we identified Gene already. Now we got to identify the star child. So a good little mid-tempo next single is going to be Tears Are Falling. Just to kind of have, Paul do it now. Tears Are Falling after, Unholy. Like, hey, we're still a mid-tempo band, and when Tears Are Falling, like Unholy, Rolling Stone gives it like 4 stars, said it's way ahead of its time.
So that's okay. Tears Are Falling. This is not a bad album. So it's Chris from Run It Rapids Around Me. So he's in here a lot. So we just see him as our number 1 fan, Facebook user, like all of the comments. Spencer's comment came in. That's Spencer. So number 3 on my album. And this was we got, you got to get a Gene song. And one of the best Gene songs out there. It's got to be, it led off the reunion tour. We got Deuce. I guess this was not. Where in the movie could we put this? Maybe it would just be one of the concerts. We'd have them play Deuce in the concert. So
Maybe right after I Stole Your Love, that'd be badass. Though back
Yeah.
to back.
all right, number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me. So they kind of take a little bit of a change. They're not, Tears Are Falling's a big hit. Unholy got them noticed. It's like, oh shit, and people are like, this is inspiring, the James Hetfields, or thinking that Kiss was a joke before. Now they're kind of look different. They look up there with Black Sabbath. So what they want to do now is, like, they never released a live album. So what they're going to do is, they've already done Destroyer, and they've already done like the first 2 albums. So what they're going to do now is they're going to release, what the hell was it at? I lost it. Lost my train. They're gonna like not really release it, but like make it a B-side and hope people play it. It was such a huge song, but they want to introduce the crowd to how good, Bruce Kulick as a gunslinger is. So they released live versions of Detroit Rock City, just to play it, showing his skills as a guitar player. You know how Ace pretty much shown when he was on Detroit Rock City. That's a pretty live version. So they're pushing these out to, like, play in Rock 40. Not really necessarily. They hope, because there used to be a lot more album rock back when they used to, like, play whole albums. So they're hoping that this, they got 3 live songs, and I'll talk about the other 2, but this is one of the first ones they released to kind of, get the buzz about their new gunslinger.
Okay.
A little different, huh?
Yeah, a little different. You definitely surprised me here. I thought I had really thrown you off when I said come up with an album name. So you come up, you're as bad as Sonny Pooney. I mean, you come up with, and actually that's a good thing. You come up with alternative history, and next thing you know, you're gonna have.
Well, we've already done our, like, pretty much our deep tracks and all this. This is like, this album's up there with Rumors and Boston. This would, Mutt Lange's producing it, before, AC/DC. I mean, this is putting Kiss on a map as it did. They're taken seriously.
So I didn't tell you my producer. Eddie Kramer would be the producer for my album. We're going to stick with
That'd be a good one.
what got him there. He did Rock and Roll Over. He did Love Guns. And he did the demos for the first album. So we're going to stick with him instead of going.
That'd be a good choice.
Yeah. Instead of going, we're going to keep that kind of rock sound to it. The 4th song off that, and you want to give, the egos are still there, and they're all like, okay, you got, I want my, and I guess they did paper, rock, scissors to see who got the first. Each one of them gets one of the first 4. Peter with number 4. We're gonna go with Nothing to Lose. Maybe that could be when they fight the freaking chimpanzees out there. The freaking, what are the monkeys or whatever they are, the monkeys up there at the roller coaster.
Thought that would be when, Jean's checking out, what's her name, looking for Sam. Go, hey babe, you got nothing to lose.
No, that's when Paul tries to feel her up over there. I mean, as soon as she starts hollering and he's over there with his arms all around her trying to.
What was Jean like this?
Hold on, we got a comment. I think this is what kind of question is this, man?
That's obviously from somebody that doesn't listen to the podcast. Welcome, new listeners.
I think this is Chris again, but Chris, daggum well, if you, as much as you've listened to me, that Kiss is definitely my favorite band. No doubt about it.
No
doubt about it. Nothing to Lose.
What gave it away?
Yeah. If you look around this room right quick, it might give it away, which us talking about it all the time. Yeah. Kiss is definitely my favorite band. Nobody even close.
I'm with you.
All right. Number 5.
So number 5, what they're going to do is, they want to really produce. They got a big tour coming up, and they really want to get the message out that you want to freaking see us live because it's the greatest show. So they push another previous song out, Deuce. We both agree that the live version of Deuce is better than the demo track or the studio track. So they pushed Deuce out to rock radio. Detroit Rock City had a kind of a resurgence like Rock and Roll All Night. It charted. Kiss is the hottest band in the world right now. I mean, they're outselling Fleetwood Mac, Boston, the Stones, Aerosmith. They're the biggest band in the world right now. But we want to push let's make, these live songs, like a souvenir, since we've never really done a live album yet. So.
Oh, that's right. You got rid of Alive. So yeah, I forgot about that. You got rid of Alive. All right, so Deuce, that's our first repeat right there.
Yep.
All right, so my number 5, and this would probably be played during the fight scene in the haunted house, because I've got plans for another song for Gene's little run-in. Rocket Ride, Ace, and this song.
It wasn't enough for him to sing it. Like, hey, it's too quiet.
Yeah, so much. There's so much fatigue for me with "Shock Me" that I wanted to put. I mean, "Shock Me" is a great song, but it's so fatigued to me. I wanted to put something different up here. So, "Rocket Ride" to me, don't want to hear 2000 Man again. And pretty much those are the top three songs from him around that time. But to me, Rocket Ride is better than anything he did off Dynasty. I love Rocket Ride, that opening riff. So Rocket Ride for me is the 5th, halfway through. That's off side 1. For you people out there that are so young, you don't know what side 1 and side 2 is. You have to flip the record over or flip the tape over. This will be side 1 for me.
I was listening to Shout Out Loudcast. And they were doing the review of what was the last album they did? Yeah, and they were talking about the 8 tracks. I had forgotten about that. How the song would fade out. I had forgotten about. I never liked 8 tracks. I didn't have too much experience with 8 tracks. Mostly the album, yeah. But I do remember that now.
My uncle had a 8-track player in his car, and when we would go to the beach and ride up there with him, he would play them, and I always remember that little fade out, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And the way I've actually got a Kiss 8-track over here that my brother got me from a flea market, and it's got like 3. It's not two sides. It's got like 3 on it. Hold on, let me look.
I thought it was 4. I thought it was 4 programs.
4. Hold on. Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah.
So you got So the end of this is the rock and roll over 8-track. The end of program. It's not side. It's program 1.
Program, yeah.
Ladies' Room Part 1, and then it goes into conclusion of Ladies' Room, and then it does it again with Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Love 'Em and Leave 'Em conclusion on Part 4. Yeah.
You're talking about side 1. Now you got half the audience like, the hell's an 8-track?
What the heck is the 8-track now? What are you talking about, dude? That is
I
never an 8-track right there. That is an 8-track. It's just a big old cassette tape.
Yeah. No, cassettes, I don't think cassettes are as bad as 8-tracks.
No. No. Cassettes are so easy.
I got a Paul Stanley, the solo album. I got the 8-track. I bought that, but it's like, I remember that, and just I didn't. And you had to rewind, or fast forward. Yeah, it just sucked.
You remember.
And now everything's on your. Put your 8-track up, right? Put your 8-track up. We went from that.
Hold on.
No, yeah. No, put it up. Put it up right. No, put up your 8-track. Put your 8-track up with the picture. So we went from that, boys and girls, to this.
Yeah.
It's like from that to this.
So
in our lifetime.
You remember though when cassettes, you'd always, you could never get it fast forwarded just right. That's when they first came out with like the little jam box. You could never get it fast forward right. Then they made the ones that come out where you fast forward it and it would stop at the end of a song.
But there was a pause in between.
There was a pause, it would stop. I was like,
that was like the late 80s. That was like big time.
Yes, that was like so nice.
Yeah.
But All right.
And
Number
it's so funny because growing up with that stuff, there's names like Maxwell, Memorex,
PDK.
that shit. Yeah, that shit ain't even around.
Whatever
anymore.
happened? I mean, because all of those did not just audio; they did video cassettes too.
Well, I think
What happened to these?
Didn't 3M? Didn't they buy like TDK and stuff? 3M.
Probably
and,
so. Let's see,
Yeah.
TDK.
I think they became like 3M or something because there's some company. All those companies merged, I guess, when the writing was on the wall.
Oh, you can still buy TDK blank cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah.
90 minutes. You get a from on Amazon. Let's see what's the pack of it?
Oh, God.
It's a 6-pack of 90-minute cassette tapes for $26.97. Do you remember?
I don't even own a DVD or Blu-ray player that's hooked up anymore. Everything's streaming. It's crazy.
Yeah. Maxwell's still around with cassette tapes. You get a 90-minute low noise, a 5-pack for $12.98. A Jensen cassette player.
They were only like $4 or $5 back then. They weren't that expensive back then.
$34 for one of those. You remember the tape players you got when we were like really young?
Boombox.
Tape? No.
Oh yeah.
Just the tape player.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what this is showing.
Remember when you had the I remember I had the Rocky 3 soundtrack.
Yes, I had it.
Somebody told me how to like put that on a little square there where you couldn't record over it.
Pop it.
No, it was
they did tape over it.
Yeah, put tape over it. So I remember I had that every time I hear Eye of the Tiger, it's I did my little voice before it kicked in. So every time still to this day I hear that song, I hear my dumbass voice saying that. But yeah, just the crap that it's funny because I think even Best Buy, I saw something on Facebook that they don't even sell movies anymore.
No, they took all the DVDs and Blu-rays.
I knew they did away with the music a while back, but I saw the movies like, oh wow. Walmart never will though.
They've got movies
still.
I don't know about where you're at, but the Walmart close to me, it's not many movies in there. It's a lot of the DVDs in there are like the old TV show sets.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is they did away with all the CDs, but they have vinyl now. It's like I guess cassettes will be cassette
will be coming back.
Yeah,
I can't believe. I'm looking now. They've got actually it's Walkmans up here.
There's still a market for it, Stevie. I guess.
Wow,
They wouldn't make it if they weren't going to make money off it.
Cassette recorder player. AM/FM compact vintage cassette tape player with big speaker and earphone, $32.99.
Remember when you're in college and you had those little cassette those little things? Now you can just have a pin and it records it off your pin and USB.
They have actually got a boom box up here, like we had back in the day. It says MP3 conversion from radio to cassette with the AM/FM shortwave radios, $42. You remember the ones we got back then were probably like $90, $100.
I remember my first DVD or CD player. It was a turntable CD cassette, and I think it was $60 at Walmart. I mean, I bought my first 2 CDs were 1984 and then Richard Marx Repeat Offender. So it's like, yeah.
You go with some Richard Marx.
Oh yeah, Richard Marx, man.
He was the bomb back then, bud. And look, this boombox takes, just like the old days, 4D batteries.
Yeah, batteries.
I don't miss them.
And they never. And remember you had those battery rechargers. Remember those things?
Yeah.
Like you would charge them so much they would leak and shit. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, my God, can you imagine kids having that crap nowadays? Oh my God, it got battery acid. I'm suing. Dude, we were definitely the last generation. Generation X was definitely the last experiment generation. You're on your freaking own, and we had chemistry sets. I mean, I read somewhere that they canceled lawn darts. Really? Those darts you throw in the lawn? I guess.
Oh yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah, but I mean, we would have dirt clod fights with dirt and rocks.
Hit them upside.
We'd have Roman candle fights. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, some of that shit I did back as a kid, I definitely wouldn't do now because but
I couldn't have a dirt clog fight today.
can you imagine how many like people like our age got killed or injured? But everything's a 24-hour news cycle now, so it's like this crap always happened. We just hear about it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's social media, but everywhere. I mean, it's something like that. And who knows? We might have been all over social media. Some of the things we did back in the day, we could have been famous. But hold on. Chris is actually, and he loves Kiss, but Pantera is his favorite band.
I love Pantera.
Nothing
Another Texas band, Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah. All right. So number 6. Now that we got off track for a little while.
Not us. We never do that.
I knew it was coming.
Whose turn is it? Yours. Or mine?
Yours.
What was my last one?
Your last one was Deuce.
Deuce. Okay. My next one. Okay. We kind of got the rock stuff going and everything like that. So we need a nice ballad. At the time, Beth's already been a big hit for the Peter Criss. So a song that I personally think is better than Beth should have been a bigger hit because, we all know who my favorite singer is. It's Rod Stewart. Hard Luck Woman comes out. This song just blows out the doors. Oh my God, Kiss. This is Kiss, the same band that sang Unholy. Oh my God. I mean, and Rod Stewart is such a big hit. Rod Stewart actually covers it 20 years later when he does that cover song. Oh, I should have done it back then. One of the best. This song wins them a Grammy. This is how great this song is. It's so big and so popular. Mutt Lange produced, a little bit different arrangement probably. The Bruce Kulick solo, there's a little solo in it, and him and Paul are, close like him and Ace were in that solo. But Hard Luck Woman becomes a Grammy Award winning, and it becomes their first number 1 hit.
Well, you got to have Ace in the band so he can say, "Hey, where's my Grammy?" So,
did he say that? Did he thought he won one?
Yeah, he thought he won one.
It's probably next to his rights for his makeup.
It was a People's Choice Award.
I hate to say this, but us doing this list, I used to kind of think Peter Criss was probably my least favorite member. It's Ace, dude, for me. I'm just not a.
I know.
I'm not a. I mean, and honestly, you laugh at the Torpedo Girl. I think that's one of his best songs. And it's like I don't like Rocket Ride. I'm just not a big. I like a lot of his Frehley's Comet stuff, and obviously you do too, because that's your Facebook profile picture. Second sighting.
It's been up there for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that when we had. Uh-oh.
We're gonna get sued.
Here we go. I got to do the bass line first. All right.
Yep, that's what Mutt Lange said. He brought that to the table. Go, dude, you're never coming in this band again.
All right. So, number 6 for me. And this is, Paul sitting there. It's a different, I guess he had took in West Side Story and decided to write a song about it.
West Side Story.
And because there was nothing else, there was not a lot of gang violence about a girl back then. So
wasn't the Warriors out back then, dude?
Yeah, but this is about a girl, 2 guys fighting over a girl. So
West Side Story, or wasn't that one too?
No, this song is too. Tito, King of the Streets. We're gonna do Hide Your Heart. Paul decides he wants to write this, and he's like, I'm gonna write a masterpiece about dealing with West Side Story. So, Hide Your Heart. I guess could we change up Phantom of the Park and have them fighting over the girl? Paul fighting Sam over the girl at the end.
She's mine, Jack Abbott.
Jack Abbott, yeah, Terry Lester, good old Terry Lester. But yeah, Hide Your Heart would be the start of my side too.
Got another repeat, Hide Your Heart. Kiss releases it, but it's not really it's kind of a song that they release and they didn't think much of it because it becomes like a radio hit because I mean it's a great song. It's in both our top tens, one of the Bruce Kulick's best solos, I love that solo. And I think it's a great song. You had a lot of people cover it. Ace turned in his version and he got double banned and said he'll never be back in the band again. You thought Torpedo Girl was bad. So, yeah.
Should have been.
Hide Your Heart. Yeah. Good song.
Should have been a hit.
Yeah.
So, nobody else coming. Now we got to go with a ballad. And no Beth, but Peter comes out and they're sitting around in their little robes and she's looking around and
they're sitting around in their little robes.
Their little robes out there.
Smoking stogies and having brandy or what?
That scene at where they're at the house at night where Sam breaks into
Sorry, Stevie, you are serious.
And I've got guns. But yeah, so instead of using Beth like they do in the movie, we're gonna go with another Peter ballad, which I think is a great ballad and doesn't get enough credit. And it's off the solo album, I Can't Stop the Rain. Oh, I didn't know that. I think my dogs turned the TV on in my bedroom in there, and it sounded like a freaking World War II going in out here. Actually, it sounded kind of like Torpedo Girl going on, and it was going. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on in here?"
Your dog turns on the TV, man. You got
the remote to my Fire Stick's on my bed, so they probably hit it. Yeah.
Now my dog, she does that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I Can't Stop the Rain. We're gonna use.
Alrighty. So what Kiss is doing is that they really showcase 2 live songs so far. But, Gene, to kind of bookend his thing with Unholy, they really want Kiss at that kind of like to me, this is like Kiss at their height in the 70s. And that's the live version of God of Thunder. I mean, just, that when you hear that and you hear that beat and then you hear that freaking solo, Peter, like I said, seeing the Ace crap going on, it's got 5, and Paul Stanley, Peter Criss on the drums. I mean, Peter just shines on that solo, and it's just God of Thunder. It bookends. You start out with Unholy, then you put, kind of like, I had them as kind of like, I think Unholy was like maybe my top Gene song, but God of Thunder, they're like almost like sister songs together.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's my number 8. And as much as I love the eeriness of the studio version of God of Thunder with the kids and all that, the sped up version, live version that they played like in the 70s is freaking awesome. And that's the fight scene.
No, I think they need to leave it the same. They need to leave it at the end of the movie.
End of the movie, okay.
That is like one of the best parts of the movie is when they play that and they show them in that's awesome at the end. I think I just leave it the way it is, yeah.
But yeah, that live version of God of Thunder, and was it you asking me what Peter's saying when he's doing that, when he does that drum solo?
Yeah, we never figured it out.
Anybody out there that knows what Peter Criss is saying during that drum solo on Live 2, please let us know. Because
he's yelling something. Peter Criss on the drums.
We're Kiss-tards, and we need to know. All right, so we both agreed on God of Thunder at this point of the album. So number 9 coming out to Live 2.
Number 9 for me. I'd mentioned it before. I think it was number 9. Am I 1, 2?
You haven't used whatever you hadn't used, bud.
Yeah, I know, but I'm missing.
Oh God, we're gonna have to have a 3-way.
No, it's not that. It's Dirty Living. Dirty Living.
I thought that was a single for the lead off one.
No, the leadoff one was Unholy. Dirty Living was just the track. Was just the name of the album. I didn't talk about the song yet.
Oh, okay.
But that's Peter, like I said, Mutt Lang says, hey, you guys, I'm going to produce y'all and No More Dirty Living. And hey, let's write a song about that. So that became the Dirty Living. Was the Grammy nominated, probably who was big in that year? Probably Fleetwood Mac was probably the biggest band. So they were like the number 2 album after Rumors. That's how big this album was.
Wow, you really have them.
Well, I listened to these songs today, and you're like me, Stevie. You think Kiss gets too much crap for the makeup? I mean, Parliament, Funk Underground, Bowie, Alice Cooper, they're like geniuses, but Kiss isn't. And it's like, and they proved it with Unplugged. They proved it in the '80s. They're more than just the look. I mean, hell. I mean, you listen to all their stuff like, Firehouse, you listen to Strutter, Deuce. That's, Getaway. That didn't make my list. It's one of my favorite Peter Criss songs.
Yeah.
My favorite Ace solo. Man, if that would have been like Molly Hatchet, that would have been all over rock radio. Come on, dude. That's a great song.
Yep, I agree.
So this would have been my alternative for Kiss, but I've never been one of those people that, if they're too popular, I won't like them. Because I love Fleetwood Mac. I love the Eagles. It's like, I think Kiss. I don't compare bands because everything's different. So they're great in their own way, but there's no such thing as a greatest band or like the Stones are better than the Beatles. They're two different kinds of bands. If the two bands did the same songs note for note, then you could compare them. But they're different bands, different sounds, different music.
Yep, I agree.
Hell, Led Zeppelin wasn't even. I'm listening to that book about Led Zeppelin, and they got that name because they're just, they weren't critics' darling. They love them now, but back then they hated them.
You kill me every time you say, I'm listening to that book now.
Oh, yeah, I do that, dude. I'm old. I don't read anymore.
Oh, I know you don't read. I'm listening to that book now.
Because when I read with my eyes, I get my ADD kicks in, dude. I can actually listen. It's like I'm being read to me, So.
Oh.
Shut up.
You get rid of bedtime story.
Phoebe, can you come read me a bedtime story and tuck me
in?
No.
All right. So as much as you like God of Thunder, the credits, and I know this is going to be like, oh, we've heard the song a million times, but you got to leave Rock and Roll All Night in as the opening part of the movie because that was freaking.
That was a great part. Yeah.
Yes. As much as good as the credits were, Rock and Roll All Night as the opening part of the movie was great. So,
man, that's pretty much a music video for the time. You think about it.
Yeah, really. Because you're seeing at the time great special effects with them in the little ride, that little spider ride going around, and then right before they go to the movie where they're supposedly walking in the fountain, and
I remember getting that VHS tape. I think it's the same weekend, the same Thanksgiving weekend. I got Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits because I remember getting that and coming back home and music, and then seeing the VHS copy because it had been out of print. It wasn't in print back then, and you didn't have YouTube to go to back then.
Nope.
And I still have my VHS copy.
Got one right over here.
But it's like the world vision, not associated with a religious organization or whatever. But I took that home, put that in the VCR, dude. I watched that shit over and over.
I wore that thing out, dude.
It's like it was up there. It was like right after Exposed. That to me was the height of my Kissdom because it's like I was getting into the band, I was going back listening to albums, but that intro, them coming back, and when they have the Rock and Roll Over spinning and that little, that is, and the Peter's drums. That's just great, dude.
How about Giant Gene looking down from the top of the roller coaster? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and what's the one where the girl is there waiting on Sam and they're playing Christine 16? God, can you imagine if that happened today? My God, remember they were all, these guys were like checking her out. Remember that? She was waiting.
Well, there's one guy, if you watch that, because I've watched it so many times, you know how they tell the extras, don't look at the camera.
Oh
And
yeah,
now
they always look at the camera. Yeah.
There's one guy when she goes by, and I think he's got pile makeup on. He's just like looking straight at the camera the whole time, like, dude. But everybody will remember him now.
That's the first time I remember when I was a kid, and we were on TV because when we were younger, everybody like every local station had a clown like a bozo or something like that. So I remember, of course, I was one of the tall kids, so I had to get put in the back. So I remember in the show, because I wanted to see myself, I kept raising my hand to like.
Oh, wow.
So I would probably have been me, like, don't look at the camera.
Well, yeah, we have Whitney. Our clown was called Whitney the Hobo.
The hobo.
All right, Matt.
That's offensive, Stevie.
Yeah, Matthew Bazemore, Rock and Roll All Night. Never heard of that one. Who sings that song? Sting? No, we actually had a good group that sang Rock and Roll All Night.
Stained?
STI. He spelled it.
No, Stained was a good band. If it was like 1998, come on, they're not classic like Kiss.
We're gonna get you, Matt.
It's been a while since they've been any good.
It's been a while since we've heard a good song from Stain too.
Is he serious or is he just messing with you?
He's just messing. Okay. He's just good. This is the guy that helps me with the sports. He's my co-host on the sports.
Stevie, you got some nice friends, man. Always ragging on your
choices. Every one of them. Every one of them.
That's why you come after me, I guess. Now I can see.
Well, I mean, I might as well be friends with you. You rag on me all the time too. So I mean,
hey, keep smiling. That's
my God. Don't start singing. All right. So the last song for you.
Last song for me. To me, and I said this when we did the list. I think this is Kiss's best song that they ever recorded. Probably next to Detroit Rock City. I Stole Your Love. Just if I had to tell somebody, like, play me the definitive Kiss song, I Stole Your Love, because this is at their peak. And I love Love Gun,
right? But
to me, Destroyer's their best album. Their best stuff comes off it. People say it's overrated, it's overplayed. I don't agree with that. I'm kind of, I love the first three, but Destroyer and Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over. I think I burned myself out on Rock and Roll Over. But if I had to do the definitive rock song, they released I Stole Your Love as a go away single. You start out with Unholy, you end with I Stole Your Love. And, it's like, they say the best is yet to come. There's more stuff coming after this. This is, a good way to send off the album. This is Kiss's greatest album. They win a couple Grammys, best rock performance, blah, blah, whatever. Jethro Tull didn't put an album out that year. So this is Kiss's best album. They never repeat it. They didn't, like Fleetwood Mac never topped Rumors, but this is, they don't talk about, this is our next Destroyer. You hear Gene and Paul for years say, this is going to be our next Dirty Living. And Peter stays with the band. You never hear. I mean, they go on. They have a good run in the 80s, like Aerosmith. But they meet Desmond Child later on. They turn into like Aerosmith with this. So.
Little delayed reaction from the dogs that heard you singing a while ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, hush.
Hey, where's your on the air sign, Stevie? You're a professional here. Come on.
I've got to get it mounted up somewhere. Hold on, let me get it. Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're nothing but professionals here.
Exactly.
On the fly,
The dogs. This one doesn't have just barks because the other one barks. That's all.
You like that one about the my dog when he hears the doorbell, she's got like a
yeah. But okay, last for me, and this when I watched Phantom of the Park after I recorded it on my brand new VCR back in 1985, and the concert scene where they do the guitar, you see the guitar solo playing, Ace is playing, and I'm like, at the time in 1985, I'm like, what song is this? And then I go back and start listening to all my old stuff, and I figured out it's Black Diamond. We got to leave Black Diamond, which this is one of the, if not my favorite, it's in my top 3.
So I Stole Your Love didn't make your list. Wow.
No. Black Diamond
Black Diamond didn't make mine. I love it.
Yeah.
So.
Black Diamond is the it should see the dogs don't even agree with me. But Black Diamond makes is my finale. And it should be. Should be the finale. I think that they'd want to do rock and roll all night all the time, but get ready to
the Kiss Ultimate album sponsored by Tag Team. Who let the dogs out? Ah.
Yeah, come here. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. Come on. Go figure it out.
We're like the Wizard of Oz. Never mind that man behind the curtain kicking that dog.
Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. All right, so that's our list. Okay, go back over your list again because I think I got confused when you said Dirty Living at first. Good. So go right down.
Okay, I'll do from 10 to top 10. Number 10, Hard Luck Woman. 9, Tears Are Falling. 8, Unholy. Oh, this is what I messed up. How could I miss this one? I missed Love Gun.
Yeah, I was going to say you're missing one.
Yeah, it had to be Love Gun. That's something they didn't release as a single, kind of like Hide Your Heart, but it became a big radio staple. Dirty Living, Hide Your Heart, Deuce, Detroit Rock City, God of Thunder, and I Stole Your Love.
Okay, I was going to say we were missing one with you.
Yeah, mine wasn't in any particular order. I tried to do it like there's a Paul song, a Gene song, Paul song, Gene song, then there's Peter, then Peter,
All right, so mine in order: Rip It Out, Short of Something, Deuce, Nothing to Lose, Rocket Ride, Hide Your Heart, I Can't Stop the Rain, God of Thunder, Rock and Roll All Night, and Black Diamond. So we only had 2 repeats.
I can't believe. And just on yours, there's no Detroit Rock City. There's no Love Gun for you. Unholy for you. I mean, I get what you're doing, but I don't know. It just shows that we're different parts of the band.
Oh, yeah. Well, you came into
I didn't even have one Ace Frehley song on there because I'm such a Bruce Kulick fan that to me, and I said that, what would have been like if Ace was in the band? I think they would have been just fine.
All right, we got a guy to just putting his list in from Chris Odom from Swamp Talk, the Swamp Talk podcast. No particular order: Mr. Speed, Rock and Roll All Night Live, Creatures of the Night, God of Thunder Live, Forever, Firehouse, Love Gun, Domino, Psycho Circus, and Shout Out Loud. Wow,
that's a good list.
That is a good list. Appreciate that, Chris.
Psycho Circus is a song that I think is for the album. I like that song and Within, and that's about it off that album.
You don't like Raise Your Glasses?
It's too cliche. I mean, even for Kiss.
Oh my gosh, Raise Your Glasses.
I mean, it's. I don't hate it, but it's I don't.
I like Tom and Zeus always said that should be like a celebration song for every team winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know what that means. It's been about that long since that song came out, since the Cowboys won 90s.
Oh, that actually about what it came out in 98, so not far off.
Not right there.
Not far off. Back when VHS, we talked about VHS tapes. That was when Cowboys won their Super Bowl against the Steelers. And then I did say it. I did say it was against the Steelers. So this is concluding our best of the 4 original members, and
we would have done a Vinnie Vincent, but we didn't have the $200 to join his Facebook account. So
yeah, we couldn't.
We're still taking donations for that. If you want to send it to one of,
we're gonna start a Patreon so we can join Vinny's Facebook group. I wonder if that is $200 a year, or is it $200 one time and you're in it for good?
I think it's a year. Because
That's crazy, dude.
I think I heard the guys from Disco Go Geek talking about it, and I think they said it was $200 a year.
What is he gonna tell you in that group that is worth $200? What are you gonna find out about Vinny in that group that's worth $200 a year? Come on, I wouldn't even pay that for a Kiss group for a year. That's insane. I'm sorry, but that's Vinny. So he hangs himself as soon as you're about to hand him the keys to the kingdom, like Gene said. But All right. Oh, excuse me. Any last words before we pack this up? Now that my dog just stopped barking.
No, I can't think of anything. I mean, it was a fun list, and supposedly I guess Kiss is over, and they haven't,
They're not over. We've got the avatars.
Gene is going to be touring pretty soon, so I mean, maybe that's something the U.S. will be able to see. But it'll probably be like the Paul tour, just play big cities, won't play this though.
Yeah. I did see where what Zach Throne said. I'm not playing in the group. Stop calling me. Stop telling me congratulations.
Who is he?
Zach Throne. He played with was it Bruce's band? Actually, Zach Throne. If you need to Google Zach Throne. He played on. He sang like the Gene songs when Bruce was playing.
Oh, okay.
But Zach Throne was in. He played on a #1 Billboard hit back in the early '90s, and was on a TV show too for that same song. And I guarantee you'll never guess what it is.
How do you talk to an angel?
Yep, you're exactly right.
We've talked about this, Steve.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because I had the guy on Barry Kaufman that wrote all the music for like California Dreams and some.
That guy never recovered from like beating Donna up on 90210.
That wasn't the same guy. That was Ray. But
he's the one that sang that song on the Heights or whatever.
Yeah, but Zach didn't sing it. Zach just played on it.
That song was horrible.
I was talking to Barry Kaufman, and we were talking. He mentioned it. It come up when we started talking about how do you talk to an angel. He said the name Zach Throne. I was like, wait a minute, are we talking about Zach Throne? He plays guitar. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, this can't be the same one that played. He played in a band with one of the members of Kids. He was like, oh no, that wouldn't have been him. But then I Googled him and looked up. He said, yep, that's him. So it's the same guy.
That's funny.
So
small world.
Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. We have my eye keeps twitching, dude. What the heck? It's driving me crazy. But we've had fun going through all 4 of the original members, our top 10, and then putting it all together and putting an album. Good job, Worden. I have to take my hat off to you for your creativity tonight with how you
well, they say a broken clock's at least right twice a day, so
well,
somebody can't be called a genius if they fall into a creek full of gold.
And it's like we pulled the handle on the slot machine and all the fruit lined up.
You're going on a roller coaster, but you might hurt your neck on this.
Yeah. It's like when you win the lottery and you complain about paying the taxes.
It's like saying, I'm going to be a lawyer, but I don't like wearing a tie.
Oh, God. How many more Paulisms can we do?
That's just so funny because it's like I was watching that when I think it was Extreme Close Up.
Yeah, it was Extreme Close Up.
And they showed Gene there like in his demon, like with the blood. And I don't know how people can assume we're satanic. And it's like, well, gee, I wonder how in the hell they do.
How. But somebody actually was talking to me. Maybe it was last
backstage before.
Yeah, backstage. We were talking backstage. No, and some of you guys like tequila and orange juice.
Vodka and orange juice.
Well, tequila and orange juice. Good God, that would be terrible.
Tequila and anything.
But yeah, they were talking to me the other day, and I was talking about. It come up about my favorite band, and and I said Kiss, and they were like, "Oh, Kiss, really?" And they looked at me kind of like, "Oh, that's." I was like, "Well, I don't have any."
Were you talking to your preacher, dude, or what?
No, it wasn't a preacher, but it was. I can't remember who it was. I'm old, but
was it a young guy? Somebody younger than you?
No, they were actually older. So I said, I don't have any horns on my head or anything, so I'm good.
My best friend thinks I'm a jerk because I like Kiss.
There we go. You got your black fingernail polish. My best friend thinks I'm a jerk because I like Kiss. But anyway,
you're in the middle. Get the fuck out.
You want to love us? That's fine. You want to hate us? That's fine too. If you're in the middle, get out. We're going to have a show where we do nothing but pilisms.
I think we just did it.
Well, no, there's plenty more. There's plenty more. We need to come up with that. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Chris, Matthew, Spencer, and two Chris's, actually. We got two Chris's. It's like he went Carolyn. So
Was it crisscross?
Crisscross will make you jump. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you guys for watching, the ones that watched out there. Be ready for a big year from On the Fly. We got a lot of stuff coming your way.
We don't know what year that'll be, but
Some year. Get ready for it. We're just getting you ready for it. But anyway, guys, y'all have a great night, and we will see you next week on the Fly.
See ya.